We are Ryan and Fletcher from Team Boardwipe, and we just topped the Fargo Regional, both playing almost the same Pendulum Magician FTK deck list.
I've been playing this deck for 3 months. I've got a couple other profiles up. This list is almost identical as far as the main deck goes to what I played at Salt Lake City when I topped out YCS. This is my 4th regional that I've top 8'd with this deck. Same list, like it's super good, it's really consistent. Couple extra and side differences over the course of the few months that we'll talk about, but yeah, we'll just jump right into the main deck. Talk about why I didn't play the Mythical Beast, because that's the biggest difference from most other FTKs. We played 3 of each Magician, 3 purple, 3 black fang, 3 harmonizing. A lot of people play 2 of these, but they also only play 2 desires and 2 instant fusion. And all Magician hands suck unless you can draw any +1 and instant fusion. And you play triple desires and triple allure. So all Magician hands don't always auto lose. A lot of times they do, but I think you need 3 purple poison for when you go second to out floodgates. And Black Fang is also really good going second. So like I didn't want to short myself those cards to try and fit in the Mythical Beasts because I don't think the Mythical Beasts are very good. So just play 3 of each Magician, 3 Astro, 3 Chrono, 1 Stargazer, 1 Time Gazer. And then we Darkworm package because that's how you search the instant fusion. 3 Darkworm, 2 Gate 0, 1 Infinity. You search instant fusion, so you kind of have to play this. I know some other Pendulum decks don't play these cards, but we have to. And that's it for monsters. There's 23. It's a lower monster count than I would like, because I know the Mythical Beast engine is 5 extra cards, and a lot of those builds will play 1 Oath Dragon and 1 the janky Magician, I don't know how to say that word, the scale 3, level 7 Dark Monster. But I don't like Oath because I almost always use, this is always my low scale, almost without exception, like the Gate 0. So having either of those in my scale usually means I'm not FTKing unless I hard draw instant fusion. And those builds usually only play 2 instant fusion. So I didn't want to play those cards because they're not, well, Oath Dragon isn't dark. I can maybe see trying to fit the other level 7 Magician because that allows you for Vortex plays when you only draw Magicians with the Harmonizing, because you can summon the level 7 out Harmonizing, send an Astro, and then do some plays and make some stuff. Maybe I could try to fit that in, but this has been working for me for so long that I just decided not to change it for those extra cards. So we played 3 Desires and 3 Lure. A lot of people will play 3 and 2 because they're like, what if you draw Desires off Desires? If you draw Desires off Desires, you still have 5 playable cards, which is the same as if you resolve any number of allures that you have in your hand. So drawing 1 Desires off of a Desires is not any worse than not drawing Desires at all and only resolving a lure. So I decided to play 3 because you need as much card advantage as possible to play 2 hand traps. I FTK people today through, and every tournament I play in, I've FTK people through Ogre, FTK people through Ash, through Valor, sometimes through even 2 hand traps. And to be able to do that, you need the card advantage. So I don't think playing 2 Desires is as good as playing 3. And then I play the Duelist, we play the Duelist Alliance package. I've been saying I a lot.
I'm just chilling.
Is that how you really feel, Fletcher?
A lot. I know people will only play the 2 Pendulum Call. Paradox is amazing. I've bricked once today with Paradox, and unfortunately it was in the last round, game 2, when I lost game 1, so I got 2nd place, because it's the 4th time it's happened this year, and I can't win a regional to save my goddamn life. But whatever. Other than that, Paradox is amazing with Astro and Chrono. And even without Astro Chrono, you can set it up to be live off of Electromite super easily. And getting advantage in your hand is how you play through hand traps. So I think it's necessary to like keep the consistency of the deck and play through interruptions. And then 2 Duelist Alliance, 2 Pendulum Call. Because even if you draw multiples of any of these, you can discard them off Pendulum Call to keep other cards in your hand live. So drawing multiples of these is not as bad as it could be because
Discard the duplicate.
Yeah, discard the duplicate. With the Mythical Beasts, when you draw multiple Cerberuses, you generally only play 2 Pendulum Call, so you can't do anything with the duplicates. You literally have a light monster that you can't use.
Level 4, and it's level 8.
Level 8, you can't summon
scale.
it.
It's useless.
Yeah, so it's just, that's ultimately why we cut the Mythical Beasts, is just because the duplicates in this package are more easily rectified than the duplicates in the other one. Even though it's an extra starter, it wasn't worth it for us. 2 Shrine, 1 Foolish, 3 Instant Fusion because we played 3 Desires, so we felt like this was fine.
And it's something you can discard if you open multiples as well.
Yeah.
Same thing.
Yeah. Any multiples, because you play 2 Duelist Alliance and 2 Pendulum Call, you can discard. You play 3 Desires, so if you banish 2, it's fine. I banish 2 Instant Fusion all the time off Desires, because sometimes you just have to Desires. So if you only play 2 Instant Fusion, how do you, you just don't win when you banish
You just
them.
FTK way more often when you're playing 3, because hard drawing it is a lot easier to get the FTK than needing to search it.
Hard drawing and Instant
Your
Fusion
hand doesn't have to get it.
amazing. It's so good, because then you don't have to work around Infinity.
And it's fine going second too, because you can make restrict to outboards.
Yeah. So that was our main deck, 40 cards. The only difference between my Salt Lake build was instead of the 3rd Allure, I played a Star Pendulum Graph, which was not great. So I cut it for more consistency, more draw power. Extra deck, I'll let Fletcher speak some words.
Alright. So we got ourselves extra deck here. Electromite. It's really good. You make this basically every game.
Basically.
Yeah. This is important because sometimes you have to, sometimes you have to make 2 Electromites, that's rare, that comes up. And then sometimes, it lets you play through Ogre. Because if they Ogre your Starving Venom, then this effect triggers and you get to add back, you can sometimes add Astro or Chrono, you get an extra summon to make a 3rd Starving Venom.
You add whichever scale effect you haven't used that turn, which is usually Astrograph, because if you have both, you usually Chrono effect to summon Time Gazer, Astro to search another Chrono. So then, a lot of times, Pendulum summon 5, you have an extra Dark Monster on the field if they Ogre a Starving Venom. So then you use this effect to add Astro, summon the Stargazer to make the 3rd. A lot of people don't play the 3rd Starving Venom. How do you FTK through Ogre if you don't play a 3rd Starving Venom? I don't know. But it just doesn't happen very often.
Yeah, and then this also helps you FTK because if you hard draw Instant Fusion, some hands, if you can get enough monsters, you don't actually need to even make Electromite. So this lets you go into Link Karibo, into the Venom, and then link those 2 away into this because you can't make anything else that's a link. And then you can make the 2nd Starving Venom below it. So that came up for me once or twice today even.
Yeah, if you get Cherries, you can still FTK. It's harder to do, obviously, but Cherries is such a blowout card that being able to FTK through Cherries is...
sometimes it's even better to save Cherries for Venom, but it's kind of hard to identify which one's better. Usually they just hit Electromite. Link Karibo, you need that to get your Lyrilusk off the board. You can't Electromite your Lyrilusk because it's unaffected, so I try to do that. Make the Link Karibo first. This guy, because it's Ibly. There are a ton of people playing Gopies today with the Nightmare engine, and it's just really bad if you have to normal something and go into Underclock Taker, so this is just a much better out to Ibly. You just link right away. It didn't come up for me, but it did for you, right?
Yeah, and this is, anything that has a link down is super relevant, because if they have a Griffin, you need to be able to activate monster effects that are special summoned. So if you're forced to normal summon and go into Underclock Taker, you also have that down arrow, but now you've already wasted your normal summon, so you have to special something there to be able to use an effect if you have something relevant. And it's just really, it sucks. It sucks playing around Griffin. So this helps you do that.
I don't even know what Griffin is. So I just started playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Last weekend. I don't know if any cards do, but he was able to teach me enough about this deck, and sometimes my opponents don't even play cards when I'm playing it, so that's good.
When you have TK, sometimes you
don't even know what their cards do. You can still win.
Yeah.
So it worked out for me.
Griffin negates special summon monsters effects if they're not linked. Yeah. So if
That's one of the nightmare links?
Yeah, and it's not co-linked, it's just linked. So any monster you special summon that has an effect that activates, if you special summon it to something that is pointing to it, then you can activate the effect. So yeah, these 2 are super relevant for that. You need them.
Keep that in mind. Absolute Dragon. Sometimes if you don't have FTK, you go into this to make Vortex because you can have negates if you can't FTK, and that's better than nothing. And then also sometimes I imagine sometimes comes up if you get cherries, but that never happened for me. I didn't make these all day, but I did They did it the last regional. It happens. Hope, same idea. You can't FTK, make the gates. This guy, out big boards. I didn't make him at all. But comes up.
I didn't have to make him because somebody tried to conductor my Lyrilusk fusion. That's unaffected by card effects. So he wasted his conductor, and then I just killed him because I didn't have to play around anything else. If I had to play around something, I could have made this and like baited something and then cleared a space by tributing for this, because you can tribute face down monsters for this.
That's really relevant.
And then you can like build their board
Against dinos and against the dudes that make the rituals or fusions. I don't even remember.
And like a lot of times they won't conductor two monsters on the field because they know you contribute the face down ones for starting them. They didn't used to. So when this was first a thing, they would conductor to stop you from making Electromite, and then you would instant fusion, make Link Karibo, tribute them for this, and attack over for game, and they'd be like, what? But now, yeah, ultimate conductor that like destroys on the flip, yeah. So they would preemptively do that to stop you from making Electromite, and then you make this and kill them. So now they know better, so they wait. So if you are able, like, if you pendulum summon, they're not going to do anything. Then you like make this to blow their board. Then they'll flip. Then you can tribute and like do other stuff and just win. And then it almost came up against one of my Goki matchups because I had to bait a Durendal. So I like used a harmonizing, and if he hadn't Durendal, then I would have linked or summoned to this.
It was if you Durendaled your instant fusion, you had to make this instead, right?
If he didn't Durendal my harmonizing, I could have summoned this to blow his board to force the Durendal, then to make this, I would have made this and then just blown his board and attack for game. That's what happened, because I'd already read
the streak, right?
Yeah. Then he used Durendal for my harmonizing, so I was able to just make this and kill him instead. But yeah, it's a good way to out big boards and just kill them if you don't have access to instant fusion.
It's a good threat to have. Yeah. Alright, restrict. So these are the only two that you can make off institution. Obvious, you have to TK with this a lot. And even just attacking with Venom, it goes up to like 68 or something ridiculous, and it's unaffected by card effects.
And it does piercing.
Yeah, so you just win if you get Venom on this and you're going second if you can attack.
And Black Fang summons this from the graveyard, and like people still don't know that. Like I don't understand how this deck has been a thing for 3 months and people are still surprised when I do that.
You should negate the
like when like it happened today, some people were surprised that I could summon this off of Black Fang. I was like, I didn't realize that was still a thing that people didn't know. But seems good. You can, and yeah, I've resolved this 3 or 4 times in a turn, regional once. It's amazing. It's really good going second card for like baiting, clearing boards, and attacking for games.
Yeah. Side, yeah. Do you want to grab yours? So this is the only difference between our deck lists. We had 10 of the same side cards, but 5 of them were different. Last weekend I just played the same thing as him, and then there were some things that I just wanted to change, so I did. So we'll go through the ones that are the same first.
Yeah, so we both played 3 cherries.
Weird.
Yeah, mirror match. It's amazing. I don't play it for anything else because I don't side in any other extra deck monsters.
And I did. That was one of the differences. I sided a monster, but
I did ABC. 2 Zaphion, because people have been migrating. As far as I can tell, the Draco deck has been migrating to an extra deck Draco so they can play hand traps, which means they don't have Honor Interrupt. Which means if they don't draw the skill drain, or Solemn Judgment, I guess, whatever. This
and strikeouts it too, but they can negate the activation.
Oh yeah, they just can't destroy it.
Right.
Yeah, but then next turn they
just don't attack and then you
yeah.
It's still really good.
Yeah. So I guess they have like a few outs, but not all of them play strike, and it's just especially with Red Reboot. Drawing it with Red Reboot is just auto. So we figured this was like the best other card to side against Draco. And then I played 3 Red Reboots. I guess he only played 2.
I only played 2.
But I played 3.
I should have played 3. I'll say that.
This card is just an auto win. It's amazing. Against Draco, against Trickstar, against Border Stun, Paleo. Like this deck kills people so easily because of Starving Venom and Lyrilusk that just auto.
It doesn't matter.
You resolve it and you win. I have not resolved this card and lost. Yeah, it just doesn't.
What do you usually hit when you activate?
Their first trap.
Whatever they play.
The first trap to activate.
They can't play traps for the rest of the turn. So
yeah,
it's a trap stun.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it's counter.
It's a counter trap stun that you can activate from your hand. Like
the only out is Judgment.
Like it's just like screaming like please OTK them. So we do. It's great. 2 kaijus, they're level 7, they're dark, and they out ABC Buster Dragon and Makaba. And a Trigate Wizard for the Goki matchup.
Do you not side it in against Draco?
I do not side it in against Draco because I don't want to overside. I do these 5, I don't want to do 7.
Okay.
Because I figured Masterpiece isn't the problem, the floodgates are the problem. So it's easy enough to get over a Masterpiece because Masterpiece is only 1 interruption when you have 5 cards. Whatever. So I don't sign it in for Draco. I just keep it for Invokes and ABC. And then I played 2 Sphere Mode. He only played 1.
Yep, I got one of them.
Yeah, so he got a Sphere Mode.
It's also really good for the mirror, but
Yeah, so for the Pendulum decks that are not FTK, it's really good. And I think it's actually really good against the Link Spam decks now, so Spirals and Goki. I think this is going to be a really good card, a necessary card for Pendulum decks as it continues, just because you need to out their like linked boards that can't be destroyed by battle and card effect or Griffin that stops you from activating effects.
it can be really hard to play with this deck without your Rumble Summon, though.
Yeah,
Because it's kind of rare for you to have like 2 starters. Like those hands, they can happen and they're really good.
Yeah. So like sometimes it's hard, but also you don't have when you're going second, you don't have to make Electromite before you Pendulum Summon. So yeah, for the going first combo, it's really hard to play without your normal summon, but when you're going second and you only need to resolve 1 Starving Venom, it can be a lot easier. And so this card, I think, is going to be very, very important in the future against those matchups, mostly Spiral and Goki. And then I played 3 Ash.
Yeah. So this is the other difference. He played 3 Ash, and then to make up for those slots, I had the Buster, and then I played 2 Evenly Matched and 2 Droll.
Yeah, I was debating on taking
I never used any of these,
Droll out, but I didn't want to leave myself with only 3 outs to Reincarnation Droll against Trickstars, just because it feels bad when you lose to like that Droll lock. Like it just feels really bad.
This is a lot better versus Draco than this as well, for sure.
Yeah,
But I didn't play any Draco today.
Yeah.
But I wanted this as an extra hand trap in the mirror. I didn't want to get blown up by FTK
Yeah,
or
that's-
even just the combo version.
Yeah,
This
and-
deck totally just kills your turn most of the time.
Yeah, that's why I was
Stack.
considering Droll as well instead of Ash for the Pendulum decks. But I sided Ash against the FTK too. I sided 2 Ash, 3 Cherries. Because sometimes Ash stops their plays. Sometimes they can draw hands that are escapable through Ash. But it happened to me once. The only reason I won game 1 against Goki is because he opened the 2 level 1s and Moon Mirror Shield and Ash and the Red Layer. So he ashed my instant fusion search and I couldn't summon, I couldn't like out the 13 scale Infinity. So I had to set Purple Poison and pass. And he, like, his hand OTKs me because he had the special summon for the Red Layer, the normal summon for the level 1. So he could have equipped the Moon Mirror Shield, linked into Isolde, and then the Moon Mirror Shield goes back, and then you can send both equip spells to summon the level 2, since he drew both of his level 1s. His 6th card was the 2nd equip spell, the only card in his deck that stopped him from OTKing me. So like, the only reason I won game 1 after getting ashed is because he drew the only card in his deck that stopped him from killing me. I got super lucky in that Goki match. He was my teammate, and I felt bad, but also like, I was kind of happy that I was able to win that after getting Ash. But yeah, so getting like Ash can hurt the FTK. I played Jesse Cotton at 2 ICSs in a row, and he's ashed me game 2 both times to stop my, and it's just like, it feels bad. So like it can be good. It's not as strong as Droll, obviously, against the mirror, but like it can work. So that's what I've been siding in against the Pendulum decks because it also has utility against Trickstar. But this, like with the Goki and the Spiral stuff, I think this could go Droll and be fine.
Yeah, Droll's probably better versus Goki, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
Droll is insane versus Goki. Droll stops
They search
him.
so much. Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, so that's our deck. It was fun.
Pretty standard. It's really good. I think I FTK'd 7 or 8 times today in 6 rounds.
Yeah,
It's a lot.
Yeah, it was a pretty small
There were
tournament.
2 matches that I just won games 1 and 3.
You told me that you FTK'd like round 6, that you had FTK'd already 8 times in a day.
Did I say 8?
Yeah, you said 8 at round 6.
Called out.
You're a bad person.
I estimated.
At round 5 then.
Okay.
Yeah.
Rounds. I didn't FTK all round 6, but rounds 4 and 5, I won games 1 and 3 FTK.
Yeah, I didn't actually FTK a lot because I was going second a lot. I lost some die rolls. I think I only FTK like 3 or 4 times.
I won 4 to 6 die rolls. It was really fortunate. Feels good.
Yeah, it's a fun deck. It sucks to lose to an FTK. It's super degenerate. It shouldn't exist. The Lyreless monster just shouldn't exist.
Yeah, it's
starting meta is pretty unfair, but like it's not like super broken unfair without this card. So like it shouldn't exist. But I enjoy playing. I've been playing it for 3 months, and it's still fun. It's a puzzle. You already 5 cards, and it's a puzzle. How do you kill them? And once you figure out how to kill them, how do you kill them through an ogre or an ash? And once you figure that out, can you kill them through 2? It's fun. It's a challenge.
Winning is fun. I don't know if I'd say this deck's fun.
That's fair. Winning's fun. I have to give a couple shout outs to Team Board Wipe, to Jake for bricking both games against me in round 5 so I could make it to round 6 and then lose and not get first place again. And shout out to my spectators on the day. I bought some McDonald's Happy Meal toys this morning. I'm going to read you some fun facts.
Oh my god, this is already 20 minutes.
Sloth bears use their long noses and lips like vacuums, sucking up yummy insects. And the
Can we punch you out?
If a large manta ray
Done.
came over for a sleepover, it would need 4 large beds side by side to stretch all the way out. 4 large beds.
Rip Steve
Shout out to
Irwin.
Jake and Brian for loaning me the whole deck, and shout out to Elise for loaning me a Link Rebo.
Shout out to my cat, who's my biggest fan. She's not here with me, but her name is Izzy, and she roots for me all the time. That's great. Yeah, that's about it.
Alright, cool.
Sorry it was so long. Thanks for having me.
Bye.